Hello
Hello.
again.
It's actually, well, I'll interrupt you immediately. It's
Go ahead.
happy to have the cameras on again.
Yeah,
It's been a while,
we're
huh? Double cameras today.
camera today. Doubled camera? Yeah, I don't know. So actually, that's what I wanted to say. Full access from the behind the scenes movies you can see on YouTube from FIA WEC. They are here to film us today, our podcast with our guest, which I still have to introduce. So yeah, it's a lot of attention on us today. So if you hear some sound, it's that. Little intro. Our guest today is 42 years old. Yeah, 42. He's German, but also a bit Belgian and a bit Japanese. He lives in Monaco. He has an amazing car collection. In motorsport terms, I think he has achieved the name legend. 3 times Le Mans winner, World Endurance Championship, multiple titles in Japan. He loves good food, but he hates a bad ride. Ladies and gentlemen, André Lotterer.
Nice intro, thank you. Hey guys.
That is actually well thought of, huh?
Hey, not bad, huh?
Well, am I the oldest one has been here so far?
No, Vincent was there.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
good.
Vincent was
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Safe.
So, how are you? Just arrived?
Yeah, just flew in for the race in Spa, which I will share with you against him. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually Tuesday today, so tomorrow we're going to
Yeah.
head
Exactly.
over to the track and ideal moment to do this podcast. So
Yeah, thanks for having me and
That's
congrats for the setup. I'm impressed.
Yeah?
I don't have a cave like that. I kind of have a semi-man cave, but
Oh, you were planning something, no?
yeah, I'm building a garage, so but need a space for the car. So we're thinking to do the cave as well, to do something like this. But let's see what it costs first, and then we'll see. Maybe sell one car and then.
Yeah, I always wanted to have it because I always collected like at least a suit and all my helmets and all
Yeah,
the trophies.
yeah,
for
it's
one
so
day,
cool.
but-
Yeah,
It's
yeah. You kept everything, right?
Yeah. I gave away one helmet to Vincent because he asked me for 10 years.
You've been good with that. I don't know, with all this Japan and traveling and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, I gave quite a few away, but I think when I moved away from Japan, like 1 or 2 boxes didn't arrive, and I think I lost a few. And also go-kart helmets. I don't know where they are. Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
It was
I think I lost one, I think, somewhere as well.
yeah,
But now it's a bit with us having to buy our trophies.
yeah. I looked at all these
Ah,
nice
yeah?
trophies.
You have to buy your trophies?
Yeah, we just spoke about last time. We have to give our trophy to the team, and then we get a very nice.
Or you get a replica,
Yeah, like the Imola was 900 euros for the replica, I think.
Yeah,
which you have to pay yourself.
Yes.
yeah. The one,
What a shit.
the one in Qatar.
How much was
It's
it?
like covered in plastic. No, like 8,500 euros. The Imola one was cheaper. No, it's like around 1,000.
I took it because I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah, you did.
But I don't think it's still.
I wouldn't
it's
take
not
it.
correct. but
Would you finish second?
yeah. You would be happy
Even-
to have a trophy now.
Even true, but to be paying for it, I would not.
Yeah, no,
It's
well,
the first time in my career that
me too.
I think sometimes been the other way around, where the team can
Oh, yeah?
ask it for a replica or some. I don't know, but anyway, well, still better getting trophies and having to
Yeah,
get replicas than getting no trophies.
Then getting no trophies, exactly.
that's true.
Yeah. Nothing. Let's start. So first, well, as everybody know, you're actually German, right?
Yeah.
But you grew up or lived a lot of your time in Belgium as well. So, well, 2 questions in one: would you consider yourself more Belgian or German? And where did you actually start your career then, Belgium or Germany?
Yeah, so that's what many people ask me. What do you feel like? I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't really have this feeling of nationality. I feel home in Belgium because I grew up here since I'm 1 year old, and I never lived in Germany. Maybe just when I did German from my 3, but you know how it is. Lived at the workshop, but never really spent time there. So. Hard to say, you know, German culture at home, and even not that German either, because my dad actually came from Peru, and so yeah, I don't know. I mean, they put these borders, but we're all humans. So,
But your mom is Belgian, right?
no,
No?
that's what people think because
even I thought.
you know she's always been we've been living in Belgium since I'm 1 year old. So, but no, she's really close from Weissach actually.
Right.
Yeah, she was born like maybe 15 kilometers from Weissach. So, what was the other question? Starting well here.
Where did you start? I mean, did you start your career
starting.
in Belgium?
With karting, I started in Marienbourg.
Okay.
Because my dad was had a race team with his business partner, and I kind of grew up on the in the workshop and on the racetrack because he was like team manager, team principal. So he always had the freedom to take me to the races with my mom, and also sometimes skip school and hang out at the workshop. And so the first thing I remember was that I wanted to be like the racing drivers, you know. I mean, I had a few examples, mechanics or like my dad or the, I don't know, truck driver or something. And I saw these guys with the race suits and the nice girls. I was like, that's that's the good way.
So it started that young.
But you know, it's funny because he had a racing driver, maybe you know or not. They were works team for European Touring Car Championship for Volvo, and Johnny Cecotto, I don't know if you know him. And he had like a really, really nice girlfriend or wife at the time, and I was like,
That was the inspiration.
that was the inspiration, I guess.
Everybody wants to become a legend in racing, but for Andre was the girls.
No, but yeah, and then he's obviously took me karting the first time. I was very excited because somehow I already knew it was something important in my life, and so we went karting, rental go-kart, and I mean, they were slow, so we went one more time, and he was like, okay, he's got good apexes. And then he looked after a go-kart shop that was nearby the track, and there was only one kart for kids for sale. And he looks at me and he asks me, you want to do this? Yeah. I tell him, but okay, this is serious, this costs money. So if you want to do this, we commit now from here to Formula One. You don't, after a year, start to change your mind, play tennis or soccer or something. I was like, yeah, okay, yes. So, but he already knew, he had his plan. Obviously, he was in motorsport, and but I'll never forget this moment. I was 7 years old, and then I ran into the house. I mean, no mobile phones back then. I mean, anyway, at 7 you don't have one. And I told Mom, Dad got me a go-kart. And then she was like, oh my God. Like, because he was perfectionist and he didn't do halfway. So she knew the adventure would start then. And then I actually did my first race nearby here in Genk. It was also, I see this suit. I was also racing for, he was preparing my engines at GKS at Lemons Power. So I spent all my weekends in Genk, basically. Sometimes Marienbourg, but always in Genk. And I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I realize now that this was quite a strong place for starting karting. Like a lot of good drivers were coming there, a lot of good races. Like it was really high level. So all the people that came to practice there, it was not just for fun. Like, so it was a really good school there.
Yeah, especially Paul. I mean, nowadays it's not like that anymore. I think because he kind of stopped with it. But yeah, he used to be like the school teacher of karting. Let's say he was educating you with all the stuff. Remember Robin Freins and me? We're going twice a week, and in the winter when it was wet, he made us drive on slicks, and we had to brake and go like the most sideways we can and controlling the go-kart, like that kind of
his spirit was great. I mean, maybe I was not as under his wing as like you were, because my dad was doing it, and we were, doing a half thing, like preparing engines, but he would always come by, and I would always be in the workshop there, and he was not messing around, like you would know.
Okay. After that, your years in karting. I think you started in Formula BMW. You did Formula 3. The whole single-seater story.
Yes.
You came quite close to Formula 1.
You did
very
a round.
close, I
You
would
did
say.
a race in Spa.
That
Yeah,
was much later.
That's
Ah.
much later. Yeah, I'm 42. So years. So yeah, then actually I got a bit too quickly too tall in go-kart, and it was difficult to stay at a good level. So we decided to move to cars soon, and I didn't really. I mean, we were really tight on money. It was really didn't have any. At the beginning, it was okay, but then we had to borrow money. It was really difficult for my parents. Like, and I admire what they did for me to push through like that and have debts. And my uncle helped me. So it was really difficult to find a step into cars. And I was gonna maybe do Formula Ford. Some team was keen on doing a really low budget, and then in the last minute, my dad got called a German manager, Werner Heinz, and
True.
and so he did a few phone calls. He probably asked who I am, but thanks to my result in karting, winning world championships and stuff like that, I had a name. So he took me on the contract, and he did a few phone calls, and then I said, no, you're gonna drive Formula BMW. So I had Red Bull as sponsor, and I was selected in these 10 young drivers. And I won, I don't know, like almost all the races, like 15 out of 18 or something like this. And then the second year as well.
Yeah,
so
you did it twice. You won it twice as well.
yeah. Actually, my first race, I won overall because you had the 10 cars with less power, maybe 30, 40 horsepower or 30 horsepower less. And then you had the A championship with private teams.
Okay.
And it was raining in Hockenheim. And I won the overall thing, which was quite unusual. So I quickly managed to get a good name in motorsport, and things went quick. Then I went to Formula 3. I had backing from Red Bull, and did really well at the first few races. I think the first, I think the first few couple of races were in Hockenheim, and I won one, and I did third here. So it went really well. And then my manager did already good phone calls, and I had the opportunity then to choose to be supported by either BMW, to go to F1, by Jaguar, or with Red Bull. And the Jaguar route was somehow the strongest or the most direct, and that's how I got into being a test driver in F1. So but the thing was, the people who supported me there, then they moved, and there was a different politics coming in. Niki Lauda came, and so I mean I tried to have my shot, but he had other people he wanted in, and then I ended up with pretty much nothing. So that's how I went to Japan. But at least I got good experience. I did did my first F1 test when I was just turned 18.
Oh yeah,
in Barcelona.
it's unusual at that time, I guess.
Yeah, at that time, it was quite controlled by experienced guys, and was it was quite unusual.
What year was this when you did the test?
You're checking if you're born?
No, just to see. I mean, those cars were
that
still
was
very cool to race. I guess, then.
End of the year 2000. It was still V10.
Oh yeah.
Never forgot. Got out of pit lane, turned off the pit limiter, and the fastest thing I drove was a Formula 3. Maybe I did a test in Formula 3000, I'm not sure. And I didn't even go to the rev limiter. And the acceleration was insane. And I was, oh my God, like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I was like, and then on the back straight, I go to the limiter and the thing goes double crazy. I had to brake, and then the thing stops in no time. I had to reaccelerate to the corner, So those V10s, they were quite fast, and the cars were really light and nimble. But that's super quick. But it was cool. Like I did that test, and then the year after, I went to race in British F3 for the Jaguar F3 team, and they got Thomas Scheckter was the test driver there, and then they separated from him, and I took over all his testing duties. So I think I did like 20 days or something. So it was was doing a lot. It was cool. Yeah, it was fun.
That must be a cool experience.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, it's always easy in hindsight, but yeah, you were obviously very close. You often, sometimes, probably what if, but yeah, you always have what ifs in lives, and you never know. But
Yeah, but at that age, not really, because still it's quite, like you get close, but to get really into it is another big step,
Sure.
like how many got in for a year or two and then
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
to really do it correctly, it's another thing, right? But of course you think what if, and maybe the Red Bull route would have been better, or the BMW route would have been better. But I don't know, at that age you don't think, you think ahead. And then I had the opportunity to go race in Japan. I liked it, and I just reestablished myself there. So I mean, I'm still very happy with the career I have and what I want to still achieve. So yeah, not much I could have done different. So.
It's great how it all, like, also in your story, but also if you remember Marcello's story, he had a contract signed to go to Ferrari F1, and then also that on the board members or the bosses changed, and then the whole thing was just gone from one day to the other. It's just crazy how
That's a dangerous period.
How
The
it can
people in
go.
charge, they change at the place you are.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. But luckily, I mean, for my career to be able to continue, my German manager Werner Heinz, he got a bit to its limits there to find something else for me after. But because I was going to almost all the races in F1, I became good friends with Eddie Irvine and his manager, because I was just hanging out at the races doing not much. And he said, like, why don't you go to Japan? Like, I have some connections still there from Eddie's time when you used to race in Japan. And then I looked and was like, yeah, that's maybe not a bad idea. And that's how I ended up in Japan, thanks to that connection. So that's it's pretty interesting how life puts you on a path. And I mean, and it was a big thing. I went for a year, and then it's not that bad. I stayed for another year, and then I ended up staying 15 years because at that time there was not much else to race
To be professional.
To be professional. So actually, it was a good, really good situation for me there. First of all, racing super fast cars, nice cars, good tracks in a professional environment. So that was cool, because if I think back, I don't know, like WC didn't exist.
No.
I mean, there were some endurance races, but
GT3 didn't exist.
the only GT3 exactly wasn't there. From Lee wasn't there. All these. If you think now, there's a lot more. Let's call it jobs for us. Back then, it was a really good opportunity. And the only thing that I thought, okay, after all the years, because I had a few. There was DTM, of course, but I was never really interested in DTM, because all I heard, it was like very political and. I mean, of course, it's a really successful championship, and I did 2 tests, one for Opel and one for Mercedes. I think the year after I got to Japan, 2004 or 5. But I didn't really enjoy the cars and the vibe, and I thought what I have in Japan is more fun, like racing these Formula cars and Super GTs, and the money was similar, or I had potential to maybe do better in Japan. So I thought, I stay in Japan, and I think it was a good thing. And then the only thing I thought that would bring me back is something like to race for Audi at Le Mans, because I looked at that from afar and I was like, wow, these guys have it good. The cars looked awesome, the setup looked really good, and I was visualizing this somehow, and then it came alive. So that was interesting, because that was the only thing I would have. I said to myself, like, I would leave Japan for. Maybe if I wouldn't have had that, I would still be racing in Japan. I don't know.
But before the Audi thing, how was Japan? Because I mean, you really lived there for, like you said, I don't know how long, almost 15 years. Because I love going there, but imagine living there, it's quite a culture shock. It's very different, the language and so on. So I guess the beginning was quite.
Well, I guess growing up a bit more, let's say, internationally,
Yeah.
that already gives you a head start. I went once for a go-kart race in '96, I think, the Suzuka World Cup, and
Still like that.
and I always was interested in somehow in Japan motorsport, like Bridgestone tires, like Senna, Honda, all these. Yeah, I had this image of high performance, and so yeah, arriving there was I felt immediately comfortable. I lived 1 year in UK for the British F3, and I hated it. I really,
Yeah.
I didn't have a feel for it. Maybe it would be different today, or I guess, but back then I just didn't enjoy it. So when I arrived there, I got picked up from the airport, and I had no idea about Mount Fuji and all these things. And then they drive me at night. I open the curtain, I see this huge mountain. I was like, wow, this is cool. And I still had a day off. So I walked around the village, checked things, and just super curious. And then when I saw the workshop, the nice cars and everything, I felt I have a genuine good reason to be here. And but of course, when I saw the apartment they put me into, I was like, oof, this is. I was living in Switzerland in a nice duplex with a little garden, all new, and that building was quite old, but it was all the foreign drivers used to live there, like all the Tom Christensen used to live there. Michael Kroom, I think even Ralf Schumacher when he went there. So there's some pictures there from them, and I mean the bathtub was like this long, and it was in the kitchen. So the weirdest things, But after a while, you just get used to it. And I'm a foodie, so the food quality was just really good. And I don't know, somehow I understood quickly how they function. I never forget that. The first time I went to the supermarket, and I was a bit like you, into fitness, and asked for rice milk. I'm in Japan, they must have rice milk, And then they're like, rice milk? Rice milk? Oh. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Like, just say no. And they asked the boss from the chef, and they're like, they're struggling to say no. I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
They don't like to say no.
Or they feel really disappointed that they cannot provide you with what you're asking, because they're such perfectionists and so well organized. But it was very super interesting to learn from them, and to see how they think, and how can I say, they have humble perfection in a way. Like they try any hobby you can find or you're into, they'll do it to perfection, but they're not allow them to say it's perfect, because in general they're just super humble. And I have amazing stories also from losing my wallet and so in a train, and the guy, I tell, somehow I didn't speak Japanese. I say, look, I was sitting here and my wallet is in the train still. They called, I don't know, the few stations ahead to stop or to get into that train, put the wallet in the train that comes back, and take it out at the station.
Nice. If you ask it here, it's
like they laugh at you. It's like, good luck.
yeah, they will be like, go to a new one.
Yeah, it's. I have so many stories like this and then you start to appreciate a lot what you experience there.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Just the different.
Yeah, I like going there, but I guess at that point, if you don't have a choice, you go for it and you live it.
Sure.
Let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I made it my home because also I didn't have the money to fly back and forth all the time. Sure. And back then I was doing both championships, and we did a lot of testing. So I was going home just for the winter break for 2-3 months, and then maybe once in the summer. So it was only when I started to race for Audi in WEC that I had 2 bases with Belgium and Japan.
You spoke about your comeback to Europe with Audi, and I think your debut in Le Mans was quite an interesting story, right?
Yeah, very
that
interesting.
started. I mean, again, you were on the bad luck side for F1, let's call, and there you had the other side, which gave
Yeah.
you an amazing career afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes, if you're at the right place at the right time, then things happen. And that was, I guess, my situation. So I saw at the beginning of the year that the Colles team was entering 2 cars in the Endurance Championship and in Le Mans. And I had a little. I didn't know him so well, but I gave him a call and say, "Hey, I'm interested. Do you think there's a chance?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll do 1 car with drivers that have sponsors and 1 car with pro." I say, "Okay." And then a few months go by, and I was like, "So what's the situation?" It's like, "Yeah, I need a sponsor. I need 250,000 to do Le Mans." I'm like, "Man, like, I don't have anything, man. Like, I've been racing as a professional in Japan, and I can't. There's no chance." So I tried a few connections here and there, and I call him 2 weeks before the race. I look, maybe I can get 50,000. He said, "Okay, let's do it." So, okay, and then it was a really last minute thing. I never tested the R10 or anything, so. So I get there and super happy to start, and all were rookies. And Narain Karthikeyan was going to take the start. I mean, free practice went well, but he was quite nervous, and he was like, And I told him, "Man, relax. Like, I mean, we cannot win this race. We don't have the car for it, and we just drive. Like, we just do our best. You know, like, it's 24-hour race. Why you stress for the start?" "Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel it." And anyway, he parks the car on the grid and then gets out for a pee like we all do, jumps over the pit wall and falls on the other side and dislocates his shoulder. And so we're like, what's going to happen, you know? And we thought maybe we can get a 3rd driver, but it's not possible. So quickly made the decision, okay, Charles Wolfsman did the start, because he knew the car a bit better, and then we just did the race in two, and that was my chance to shine, because I did everything well. I had good speed at night as well, didn't do mistakes, and luckily we had people from Audi Sport managing the engine and, you know, all the sensors, all the telemetry. And they liked what I did. So after the race, the engineer, Joe Hausner, that was a bit on the side of the project at that time, he was going to get back into as a leader of the project for the year after. And he told me, because he was engineering my car at that Le Mans, we're going to change a few drivers and we need someone like you. Would you want to? I'm like, yeah, of course. So we started to negotiate, and at the end of the year, I had my contract. So that was pretty cool to just get in, you know, with one shot or like this. So
yeah, exactly as you said, like being there at the right time,
Yeah.
changing the drivers again, and you did a good job. So it's
definitely, timing sometimes, but also with all the experience I had in Japan, I was able to perform the right way, because Japan was a good mix. LMP was right in between Super Formula and Super GT. Like Super GT, I had kind of endurance racing, driver changes, and understanding a bit more about tires and development. And Super Formula was about pure speed. So I had the speed, the endurance. So
You
I
were
was
not
ready.
shocked by the car. That's
Not at all. I just felt very quickly at home.
Yeah, as you then you said that you got your contract then, and then, well, the next years they were quite special. I think you really got the golden years together with Audi. Oh, they already had them as well before, but especially when you arrived as well, together with Benoit and Marcel. I even drove with, well, my second season I drove with Marcel. It was a lot of good fun, special.
Was after us,
Special
right?
guy.
After,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But I think it was a special time when you, because the bond was, even Vincent tells me all the time stories about it, that how important it is to have the good bond, and it was so everybody knew what they had to do. And
it came up naturally, but also I have to say that my first test, when I went for the audition in Japan, my first day there, I met Benoit, because Benoit was supposed to do this audition test, but he got a job in between for another team, so he went to support Sébastien Philippe, which was his buddy, and Romain Dumas was at the test as well. And because I speak French, so we immediately clicked and became good friends. So I got the seat, and then Ben and me were hanging out every day. So he was like, already back then, for all the years, he was like my big brother. So we were competing at the track quite aggressively sometimes, but off track, I learned a lot from him because he really didn't care about off track, his ego or trying to beat me or me beating him. So we already had this dynamic of just having fun, and he's quite funny. And then when you have someone like that always around, then it's like plus, it just really gets you going. And he had the experience at Le Mans. That's also why I got interested a bit more in doing it. And they didn't even test Ben. They saw that he's doing similar job than me in Japan, and actually was also quite thanks to a Japanese journalist that was a fan of both of us. I mean, she was very professional and very analytical about the races, and every year she would be at Le Mans also and talking a lot with this Audi engineer, and she said, like, these two guys are really good, you should give them a shot. And so they signed me, and then they signed Ben as well, without even really knowing him. I mean, of course, he raced on the Peugeot for Pescarolo before. He had experience at Le Mans. Yeah. And Ben and Marcel, back then, when they started racing, they were at La Filière at Le Mans. So they were living there in this racing school project. I didn't know Marcel so well, but we clicked all immediately. And the first year wasn't easy for me because I did a few mistakes from lacking experience. So my first race in Spa, I spun on the formation lap in Les Combes. It was so cold. I never drove on these super cold tires. I tried to warm them up a bit. And then at 70K, just, how we sometimes experience it. And then I hit the wall. The year after, they put some asphalt, so there's a better runoff. So that was one mistake. At Le Mans, I was catching the leading car was pushing. I locked up a little bit in Arnage, so I hit the wall, reversed, and we changed the nose. So we settled for second. And then in Road Atlanta, I tried to pass a GT car on the outside down the hill in the S's, in the marbles, and then understeered half into the grass, and then the nose digged into the grass, went under the car. So my 3 races with Audi were not good. I had the speed. In testing, I was always no mistakes. And I remember sitting down with Dr. Ulrich because it was just my first contract, to renegotiate. And I was a bit shy, and I said, look, these mistakes were lack of experience. I think it will be easy for me not to do them again. I don't feel like I'm going on track and being crazy. I feel like I'm really in control of things. Testing all went well, so it would be nice if I can have a second shot. But Ben and Marcel stood up for me before in the meeting, and they said, no, we need to keep him. And the rest is history. The year after, we won our first Le Mans in style, and then we gained from that moment on more and more confidence. I wasn't that confident with the first car. There are 15. It was still a bit heavy, but then when the R18 came out with the first one with the roof, when testing, and I did the first laps with it, I was like, wow, this car is fits me like a glove. You can do whatever you want with it. It's super light, nimble, and
at those years you were also the reference. I mean, you don't like to say it yourself, but from the outside, I remember that you were the guy in Le Mans in those years.
Yeah, it was matching well. So when you feel so confident and you have fun, it's things become natural. And I mean, the cars were really amazing. Like we all did really well with them, and yeah, and we just, the three of us gained so much confidence, and we were in a nice environment. So wherever Audi would send us, if it was for, I don't know, a marketing event or anything, we're like, yeah, we go. We just have so much fun, and with the whole team, and yeah, did a lot of stupid things too. And when we were a bit too bored, so but yeah, we had the results to get away with everything. So Dr. Urix was just laughing about it, you know.
Yeah, when I hear the stories, it sounds like it was nice
That
times.
was good fun.
Yeah, a bit difficult to do that today.
Yeah, they're less strict, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we win more races, and then we're in, they need us, then it's different, because they needed us. So, and the dynamic was good, and I think it was a good timing also for us, because their leading guys were getting closer to retirement. You know, Tom, Dindo, Alan, they were all like around 43, 45, 46.
50.
So yeah, we were we came in a good time, because we were not too young either. I mean, we already gained quite good experience in motorsport, and we still brought a fresh wind, and yeah, it was. And the cars became at that time amazing. Like the technology really went forward, and when the hybrid car came at the beginning was so, like it was just the beginning. But then from 2014, it was insane. And then when the 4-wheel drive, and it was super interesting also technologically to work with all these new tools, and things moved really fast in terms of technology.
Yeah, I regret that's nothing I could have done about it, but that would have been nice to been able to drive those cars. What we do today is amazing. You know, we have a lot of cars, and we're main class. It's the biggest competition we've ever had. But still, I think if you could replace one thing, it would be like have those cars instead of the cars we have today.
Yeah, it's that would be nice.
World,
I mean, for sure it was more expensive, but I think there would have been a middle way to find, because I mean the downforce numbers are today at that level. They could have maybe said, okay, we run that kind of downforce, so that would have already made the cars a bit faster. The weight is one thing, and then there are a few elements in the car that I believe wouldn't be that much more expensive, and they would be quite a bit faster, and also more nimble through traffic, and just it can produce also good racing as well. So, but it's back then we were thinking we need this, we need that, and now we think we need that and this. So it's always
sure
how the rules are. You know, back then we could have also thought how we need other things to the car could be a lot faster. But it's maybe we'll be faster in a few years.
In between all of that, you had, surprisingly, in the middle of your career, nevertheless, your Formula One debut. I think in a less exciting, not car team, but in general, the cars back then were probably not as exciting as they were back in the years where you were with Jaguar. But
I think there was a YouTube thing on that you fit that your quali lap with the Audi was quicker than your quali lap with the or was it wrong?
They were not far off. I was surprised, you know, like because I was also racing Super Formula all the time in Japan, and these cars were like many years you wouldn't qualify last in F1. Like you would be. I was looking at the Suzuka lap times, and then you maybe qualifying you just about last, but in free practice or something you would be like P17 or something with these cars, and they don't have the top speed. So in corners they were always like 15k faster. So I was used to quick cars, and so when that opportunity came about, I was also, thanks to Colin Collis, like he called me and said, look, you know Spa well, and we wanna push things and come do the Grand Prix. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's actually a funny story because I replaced Kobayashi, and apparently in his contract he could only be replaced by a paying driver. So I paid €1 for
No way.
It's probably the cheapest F1 ride in history.
Yeah, symbolically, but yeah. So I go there. I mean, I rushed to the team to do the seat fit somehow, and in between the seat fit, did a bit of sim to learn the car and the systems. But I was really not very prepared. But and okay, so free practice starts. Get in the car, get a bit of a feel, and I arrive. I brake at La Source. I miss the corner. I'm like, doesn't brake so well, this thing. Next lap, I missed it again. I'm like, wow, where's this F1 grip, you know? And I did the same lap time in free practice then with the Audi, so around 154 or something. So qualifying in LMP1 was around 54, even 53, I think. And I think we could have gone faster maybe, but then it started raining in quali, and then. But yeah, I was impressed that, I mean, those years the cars were really low on downforce. The engines were the first ones with this hybrid turbo. Yeah. Drivability was also so. But at the end of the day, it was really cool to be an F1 driver for a weekend. That was what I came home with, you know.
Especially in Spa.
Especially in Spa. I thought it was just going to be a side news, you know. It was a huge thing. Like I arrived there, the motorhome of the Caterham team, never seen so many people. It was like packed. I was like, wow. I didn't know it was that much of a big deal somehow. And I just really enjoyed my weekend. I just went there without any pressure and had fun. And they actually asked me to do Monza as well, the race after, but they wanted to put Roberto Meri in free practice. I said, no, either you have me for the whole race, because I barely did any laps because the car broke down after one lap. So I don't want to do a half thing. I want to do it correctly. And then they said, we want to put him in as well. So, and then they asked me also Abu Dhabi at the end of the year, but I mean that car was getting lapped non-stop. I was in a pretty good situation at Audi, and I thought, okay,
it was a nice one-time thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was ready, I don't know, 32 or 33, and I thought even if I do, let's say, super well, I know I'm not gonna get a proper shot, and what I've established in LMP1 and endurance, to give that up to risk somehow doing F1 and without much guarantee, you know, maybe it could have gone well, but I said, okay, I stick to where I am, and I take it as a nice experience, and it was cool. I got really good feedback from it, and I managed to out qualify my teammate in qualifying, which was my highlight. And
like, fuck, I'm out, boys. See you later. Fuck off.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good thing to do, because like you can burn yourself quickly with doing just like, even though you have have a good establishment in endurance racing, if you just do one or two things and you don't get what you are used or what people are used to get from you, it burns you quick, I think.
It's a poisonous world as well, I think.
Yeah.
If you do bad.
Yeah, I mean, you see examples. I mean, they got back on their feet. You know, Brendan Hartley went to do F1. It went okay, but maybe not as they wanted. So then he got back to Toyota and got a seat, and De Vries as well. So, but it depends at what stage and when in your career. So, and at that time, I didn't think Audi would, you know, stop, or, you know, it was 2014. So.
And then you went to Formula E as well. You did. I think that is. I mean, it's a special world. I know a little bit how it is. I will find out a bit sooner as well. But did you enjoy it? Or is it like?
Yeah, the first time we start to hear about Formula E was through my teammate Lucas Di Grassi, because in parallel he was involved in the development, and then when he started to show us this, we were like, what is this? You know? So like, you're playing remote control cars there, or and you know, we were at the top of our game with these 1,000 horsepower machines, and with like, why do that? You know, and never really even had the mindset of thinking that our sport can be a stronger message. You always thought about just speed and performance, right? The first time I start to realize, okay, this is a platform for the manufacturers. When I start to race for Audi, and they came with all this efficiency so quickly, the hybridification, that's how you say it, came about, and then you realize, wow, you can be faster with half of the consumption and everything, and then suddenly quickly you have electric racing that comes around the corner, and then the manufacturers getting interested in it, and I found myself in a timing where Audi stopped LMP1 in the end of 2016, and I wanted, of course, to stay in that world, and I had the opportunity to join Porsche, which was always, like for many of us, if you can join Porsche at Le Mans, you think, this is something you don't want to miss out. I had other opportunities too, but this was really excited about that. And but then after a year, they pulled out as well. So I found myself, okay, what do I do now? How do I rebuild myself? And family kept growing, and then you quickly shift your mindset. Like you think, oh, maybe what I thought at the beginning was a bit stupid. And I got interested a bit more into it, and got the seat in Techita. And I realized this is the first time I really have to work. There's so many more aspects than just driving fast. The energy management, all the sim work, all the solutions in the car, the different strategies, the different systems. Like we were doing 4 days of sim before each race. And actually, it was really refreshing because you find this new challenge, and you quickly go away from that mindset, the car doesn't make sound or anything. And then the recipe of Formula of cars racing in city centers, even though they're slower, is super challenging, a lot harder than racing at Le Mans, for example, or on another track where you have runoff. So the precision and all the multitasking at the same time was quite impressive. So yeah, you wake up in the morning and it's race day. You're like, oh, it's race day. It's like so many things to think of. Which before I, just get in a car and okay, you have the basic idea of what you're gonna do in terms of strategy and the few things you keep in your mind. But there's so many things you need to think ahead and back and get used to it at the beginning. And you don't have testing, and you race against top guys that know the championship. So I start to really enjoy it. Like it's I always say to people, it's maybe not as fast, but it's like trying to ride your bicycle around your apartment and do it as quick as possible. It can be a fun challenge between friends rather than showing who's fittest and
exactly.
on the road bike on a long straight.
Well, Dries, I mean, he's going to do the rookie test.
I read that. Yeah.
So
when I went,
which track is it?
Berlin. But they changed the layout now.
They changed the layout. Yeah, Berlin is specific because the concrete asphalt.
It's like
is
with those plates.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're also quite. Let's say you're interested in. I'm still a little bit on the other side where I'm like, I see the points, but it's not what I would dream of doing. But yeah.
No, I mean, I only
they
started.
Say everybody has
their own.
Never say never.
No, like.
Everybody has their own way?
No, opinion are like buttholes. Everybody has one.
Copy, we're going to buttholes. Now I'm completely out of my thing.
It's not your thing.
Oh, now we know that as well.
Well, no, but I actually really got interested in it when they started
Send
with
you the check.
About buttholes, I mean, no, about Formula E. Not really with this fan boost, but with this attack modes and how you have to. I mean, for sure, it's also all dependent with your strategy from your engineers and stuff, but also how you have to go through the race with different strategies and with energy saving, or if you save more now and save more later, and also when you take attack mode. This is the part I find interesting. But when I went to do the sim, for example, they explained me the systems and the procedure. I was like, okay. Let's start again. Let's go through that again because it's so much. But I guess once you're used to it, it's fine. But I can fully understand.
I see the points in it as well. But if you make me choose, driving a hypercar in Le Mans or doing Formula E, I don't have to think about it. But I mean,
Some lucky guys do both.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
But I never wanted to
That's the-
really go that route. But
Um, but yeah, the driving is actually it's quite fun. It's a bit of a mix of there's a bit of rally into it. You know, like you.
Okay.
It's not like when the prototype is when the setup is not correct or the aero balance is not right. You're a bit stuck with a car that you can't do much. You know, we messed up and then you're a passenger. Formula E, there's always something you can do. Like you can change a bit the driving or drift a bit through the corner. So it's quite hands-on in terms of driving and flirting with the walls, and you can get good satisfaction.
But you've done pretty much everything. You've done endurance racing, Japan, Formula One,
Bit of GT.
bit of GT, true.
Oh yeah, I remember we even did.
we
We
were
even did
teammates, no?
Spa 24 hours together.
Yeah,
I even
Did you?
forgot. Yes.
true.
Yeah,
True
I
that.
remember.
It was you and
No,
Marcel?
really?
no Mies, no? Was it Marcel? Marcel? Or
Was it Marcel? I think it was 2017, no, or 2018.
I think 17 because I asked Porsche if I could
Yeah,
still do it,
then it was
and they
with
were
Marcel.
like, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, it was
true.
you, Marcel, and me.
I
How did
thought
we
I had
do?
a bad memory.
Yeah, I forgot as well.
How did we do?
Not
I
terribly.
think we did
then.
quite shit.
Yeah, it was not memorable. No, Mies, I did podium with him and who else? Stippler, I think maybe a third. I don't remember. Too many races.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't think about
BOP
it.
was bad, I guess.
Yeah, BOP, and also we got wrong tires and stuff. Yeah, it was quite bad.
Mm.
But what you were saying something?
If you had to
I did
pick one,
everything, yeah.
let's say next year I can only do one thing. This is my.
Well, this is what I did basically. I had to more or less make a choice between Formula E and WEC, and so for me it was the appetite to go win Le Mans with Porsche and a fourth time is quite big. So and with the whole championship restructuring themselves, with all the manufacturers going there and the competition being high. Is something I didn't want to miss, and it's kind of also going back to where I came from. I mean, for sure, Formula E would have still be fun and interesting to do, and a bit unfinished business because I haven't managed to win a race. I did.
Fuck, you were close a couple times.
Yeah. So that's a bit a shame, but it's like that sometimes, and. Wanted to go back to endurance racing. I mean, it's a great championship, nice cars, and Le Mans. It's like you can't beat it.
True.
But
Very
I think for you, being younger, I think it's for sure something to get into and to experience or try to experience. I think it's a championship that established itself quite well and has really strong drivers. People involved are very, very professional. Like the relationship you establish with your engineer, like all the solution you try to find, and also the dynamic of going to new tracks in the CDs. And things are around you as well. It's it's your car. You don't share it with your teammates. So you build. But you work quite well with your teammate too to build a strong team, find good solutions. So I think it's quite exciting.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to the test, see what how it goes, and
I'm very
comes out of
curious
it.
how you'll find it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, driving wise, for sure you will be surprised. I mean, when they went from Michelin to Hankook tires, the grip dropped a lot. So, but makes things tricky, So
Yeah.
you're not too sure if you're gonna make the corner or not.
Well, I mean, the sim was all very interesting and all the things you have to think about. But I'm curious how it goes. So let's see. I can tell you in a few days.
It's Monday.
Yeah. Monday. So now the most important question. Everybody knows Lawrence is a bit special. How bad is it
Very
working
special.
together with Lawrence?
I'll take off the headset.
No, honestly, it's pretty fun. It's good. I'm gonna have to give you some compliments because I've seen many drivers throughout my whole career, and
Normally, I only get the jokes. But now,
Yeah. No, I do have to say that you're probably the most professional driver I've come across with. Like
Really?
the most disciplined, and the way you work, you go through data and all this. The way you approach things are pretty good. So I have a lot of respect for that. And
You want a tissue?
um, no, it's
Thank you.
It makes me feel bad sometimes having all this admin and all these things. I didn't start racing with all these things, So for me, I'm still a bit behind. But no, it's fun, but it's always a trio, And Kevin plays a good role in it as well. And I think we have 3 very different characters, but it fits well together. I feel, and everywhere we go, we have a good time. So, and you have to do the compromises. Of course, we know he's special with his food and all these things. But Kevin and me, we laugh about it. And now we found a way. It's okay. Tonight is my turn. The next day it's your turn. And so we have a good thing.
How with food and stuff?
Yeah, because
we used to argue like for hours. Like I chose that one and he chose that one. Kevin was in the middle and we couldn't choose. And now we're like, okay, we roll. Like now it's your turn. You pick, you pay. Next day you pick, you pay, and then we go around.
Yeah. So no, I think we all understand that it's important for us to get on. But it's becoming less and less of an effort. Or it's actually no effort. We laugh about most of the things, and I can't recall a moment where we had a go at each other or anything. No. So no, things are pretty cool. So I'm really happy to be there, and also when he comes with his wife and Emily, like it feels like it's a nice feeling to be around. So I've had other teammates, in Spa 24 Hours 2017. It was not like this.
No, I was just thinking about it, actually while you were talking. I don't remember the last time when I thought that I had such a good group. Okay, if you're two
harmonious,
if you're 2 drivers, it's easy. You like him or you don't like him. But 3 drivers together, where the 3 of them are really, I mean, like you said, we all have and know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and then together it works super well. And we have like 0, I feel like, pointing finger at it to the right. That's not at all. We've never done it, I think. That's working. I mean, for me, it's working really well.
Yeah, I think it also shows, I think, in for the team and our results been pretty good. True. I think that helps as well. So I've had of course good relationship with previous teammates as well, some less, but now I feel like it's almost as good as what I had with Ben and Marcel. Of course, when you win Le Mans together, you're like you get a lot even closer, and then it becomes a different dynamic. But
40 days, no?
Yeah. So
never know.
Well, we do have to talk though, because you said Jacqueline and Emily, they come to the races often. But Emily now, since a week, she started to say, she started to point out to me when she sees good-looking and bad-looking guys on TV, and then still at the age where normally I should do that with your mom, not dad, maybe. But anyway, started 5 days ago. She said something like that André is good-looking, and I would like to marry André. I looked at her.
But how does it work? The father pays for the wedding, right?
Yeah, true.
So let's do some math.
No, yeah, true. Shit.
Let's do some math. How old is she?
5.
Plus 15. I'll be. Yeah, I mean, you see guys doing these things, but
it could work. I mean,
if you had to choose, win Le Mans and or
fucking subscribe. No, I leave it up to her.
Luckily,
this is more a thing like for mom and.
Luckily, I don't see Jacqueline's face right now. Okay. No, I don't think that will happen. Don't worry.
Okay, that's good. Besides your racing career, that's one of the first things I've actually heard from you, that you have you're really into classic cars. I think you have quite an awesome collection as well through the years. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say no to have them.
Yeah, I have some cool cars, but not like a big collection. I was yesterday with another friend. He's got an awesome car collection. That's another level. But yeah,
But how did it start? And
um,
how many cars do you own? If you want to share it, you don't have to share it.
I don't know, 10 or 8 or something. But they're not all that valuable, but I have a couple or 3 or 4 that have good value, and they're fun investments. But first, just out of passion, you know, how did it start? I went to Le Mans Classic and start to see these cars in 2012, and then there was the auction, and like, wow, these cars are cool, you know. And I started to speak with a few people, and they say, look, yeah, they go up in value. And so I started to be curious about it. But at first time, I was a bit shy to, you know, like spend like 200K on some car. And then I went for it, and then I kept checking the value, and it was just going up, and it's not bad, you know. And I should have done more, like, because, you know, like, I was thinking about getting an F40 but that was 2012 or 2013, and they were at 250,000, 300,000, and now they're 2 million. So, but then seeing that car, my first one I bought was a 2.7 RS, and seeing the value grow, I got more confident, and I thought, okay, now I want a Carrera GT, because that was my dream car when I was 18. It got presented, and I remember standing in front of it with a kid, you know, like, one day I want this car. So then I got that one. And then people start to understand or see that I'm interested in this, and then they call me sometimes, say, hey, are you interested in that car? Then the third car was the Audi Sport Quattro, which was pretty cool. Like, my dad's team also had rally cars, and they had Audi rally cars at the beginning, and racing for Audi. I thought, okay, this is cool. It's limited to 200 pieces. And then, just got a few more. And
which was your favorite?
The Carrera GT. Yeah, that thing is...
which you bought 2 times.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding. It was
Ah,
a
yeah.
bad
Is
day.
it? Oh,
You
it was
don't
in
know the
Spa.
story?
That was a
In
bad
Spa?
day. Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah, I remember the story.
it was in Belgium, and my friend calls me, hey, this is this Porsche day in Spa, let's go. I'm like, my clutch is slipping a bit. Like, let's see, I go for a drive, and if it's not slipping, we go. Okay, it's not slipping, let's go. Get in the paddock and park it, and then he's like, come on, let's go on track, let's do a lap. Okay, yeah, why not? You know, what can happen? So I get on track on the bottom of a Rouge, and of course signed the paper before, with helmets, and go up, warm a bit the tires, and, you know, start from piff path to push a bit, and arrive, brake la source, boom, 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 accelerate, and go down to a Rouge. And I just thought about turning just into the left, and the car was already like sideways. I'm like, that's not normal. And then suddenly I'm like, shit, I'm not in a race car. Fuck, I might die. And then I managed to somehow, like, when I spun it and I hit the brakes, so I could hit just backwards. And then it was quite a big hit, and I was like, fuck. You know, then you just start to realize you crashed your own car. It's probably not insured on the racetrack, and the whole thing. And then you look at it, and you're like, and then people watching, you know, and then you just feel like an idiot, like biggest idiot. But then I saw that some car lost cooling liquid, like they touched in la source, and I slide on that. So, you know, I tried to think maybe I can do something, or because there were no oil flags or anything, maybe talk to the track if they have the insurance or something. But then someone bought the car. I offered me the money that I bought the car for, because the value already went up. So I bought it 250,000. The value at that time was 500 or 550,000, and I sold it for the same price. So kind of got away with it, but of course I
Yeah.
didn't have the car anymore. So it was a really painful day. And then the week later was the race that we're going now. And the marks were still there. So I was passing with LMP1 car. I was like, obviously everyone was talking about it. And not my proudest moment, but it's sometimes like this in life.
I think we've all done it, right?
You had a few too.
You also crashed some cars, eh?
I heard Jacqueline laughing.
Yeah.
I had like 2 stupid accidents, I think. You didn't have any yet, I think, no?
I did one stupid one. Yeah.
I had true.
No,
But
two,
I had
two actually. Two.
one which was also very stupid, yeah, but the other one was also stupid.
You both were. Mine was also. I mean,
But you guys on the road or on the track?
on the road.
But yeah.
But I was my own fault. I was driving by myself. I had now a sick. I had like from the Audi thing, and I was so happy because it was. I was my 3rd year at Audi, and I could order. Well, actually, I couldn't order the R6, but I did order it, and they accepted it. So, just a background story. And now they all changed the rules. Well, not they've stopped now, but the year after they all changed the rules to order cars because I broke the rule. So everybody was pissed. But anyway. Yeah, it was just a bit damp, and I turned in a bit too quick. I went in too quick, and I understeered, and I hit a massive
Curbstone.
curb. But I broke the whole thing. I had a chassis damage, everything. The rim, normally you have like the bolts, and then you have the spikes going outside. It was all gone, so it was just round. The brake disc was bad.
Actually, just remember the 3rd one as well.
I've done one like that also with a rental car in Aragon.
Yeah, fuck. 4 now.
You also, you once rolled the rental car, right? Was it like a Fiat or something?
Portimao, yeah. It was after the race, shit race, went back to the hotel, and it's like these small twisty roads there to go to the hotel. And the Fiat 500. And it was bone dry, and then all of a sudden one part was wet. And I came in and I turned, and obviously the thing didn't turn, so I went straight into the ditch. And then there was these poles of a veld. Like there
field.
were animals in a field, animals inside.
Veld.
I was like, tung, 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 hit like 5, 6 of those poles. Managed to come back up the road, had to stop, and one of them was like this straight into the car. And then the next car which arrived was Winkelhock and Basseng, and they helped me to kick it out, and front was fully, they had full insurance, so I dropped it back at 6th, and they were like looking at me like...
Actually,
Sorry.
my first crash was when I was 13. So with my best friend, at that year, the teachers in Belgium, they were striking all the time. So, and he was living close to the school. So we go to school in the morning, and then no teachers, so the mom picks us up, and we hang out during the day, and she's gone. And then we're like, he was living in the forest, like at the end of fields and forest, like the house, it was like a farmhouse. And they had a Toyota, a Jeep, and it's like, okay, let's go drive it. So we drive, it's like autumn day or something, and wet leaves, and I'm thinking this thing is 4-wheel drive, and we just started how to drive, and drive through the forest, and I going down into this left-hander, and I floor it, and the thing was just sideways from rear-wheel drive. And then I get onto this hedge, up, and I almost gonna roll, so I turn to the right quickly, but then I land into the next hedge, like boom! So I broke the whole right side and everything. I'm like, no. So the car was still able to drive, so we park it back, and the spot in the garage was against the wall. The right side was by the wall. And so we say nothing. The other car was there, so his mom comes back from shopping, parks the car there, gets into the house. Nothing, it's okay. So we're buying time. We're like freaking out. And then the mom goes to pick up the sister from school, but with this car. But she gets in from the side where there was no damage. Gets to school, and the sister can't open the door. The mom comes back and like, you guys did fanjos. And we're like, oh, we're dead. And I managed, I'm quite bad. I managed to say, bro, you got to say it's you. Because you're going to just get killed by your parents. But I'm going to get killed by your parents and my parents. I'll make it up to you. And he did it. He's like best friend still now. And but the best thing was they fixed the car after a week. And he went on to do the same thing 2 weeks later with his brother. Exact same damage.
Goodness.
And I didn't know that. And for years, I look at the car like, because I thought it was me who bent that fender, you know. And then, I don't know, recently, like 6-7 years ago, he told me, no, I re-crashed it. And I was like, what? I thought that was my damage on this car for 10 years. You know, because then after, they didn't fix it anymore.
This is one I can tell, but I once had one with Jacqueline.
Ah, yeah, remember.
I used to
That
have,
was that's a stupid one as well.
That's probably literally the most
Stupid
one,
crash
yeah.
ever.
All of crashes are stupid, but I used to have like an RS5, and we were at her work, and we there were two cars, and we drove home, and I said jokingly like, yeah, first home wins. And she goes ahead, and it was a bigger road. I wanted to overtake to her, and she like drove a bit in the middle, and like, oh, okay, it's on. And then there's two roads to go home, and I took the other road, obviously staying within the speed limit. Later, the two roads came together, and it was like the bigger road, the corner at Zolder, the racetrack, and then you come. Now they changed it.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. Come from this side, and so to a T, and come from that side ahead, and I'm like, and I'm like waving to her, but while I was waving and checking the road, I didn't notice that where I was, it was full of wet leaves, so turned in.
Not your fault, obviously.
No, fault. Turned in, car obviously didn't turn, and I went straight like into a post, like boom. And she came after me like screaming, "Oh, you idiot!" So
Yeah,
it's a bit of an awkward one.
That's how quick it goes, though.
Yeah. Actually, I never at that one, but on the road, I never had an accident. Touch wood.
That's good. Let's keep it like this.
Last one. Probably have still endless years left. Well, and you have achieved an enormous amount. I think something I would sign for. But if there's one thing, what is there still left in your career you want to achieve?
It's a good question, but yeah, I think it's quite straightforward. Win Le Mans. Just win Le Mans a few more times, and go as hard and as long as possible at that level. I think this is quite a big challenge already. I don't have any other races or that I feel like I need to go and win, like Nürburgring 24 hours or Spa. I gave it a shot, but I see what I have in front of me, and it's that with Porsche and us, and I think that's quite a nice challenge to go for a few more times, and to get into a bit more of a legendary status, and to be remembered for these big achievements and with a long career.
Okay. Well, I genuinely think that we have a good shot at it this year, so let's see. Maybe we can make two dreams at once. 3 probably, Kevin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dries.
Yeah, no worries. I think I have to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
My
you never
time
know, huh? Never know.
You still
Never
have
know.
time enough.
Never know.
All right.
Paris-Dakar. I would love to do the Paris-Dakar.
That's also nice.
Yeah, but that's like you cannot
When you're
do
60 or
both.
something.
Look at Carlos
It's quite
Sainz,
soon.
you know? Yeah, I think it's once you get used. Obviously, we make racing our life, our daily life, and I've never really thought of a plan B, which I think also led to being successful, because
That's what they always say.
if you have a plan B, it means you're already somewhere else with your mind.
You're already prepared for it.
Yeah.
Let's say, and
So, and I still don't have a plan B, So for me, it's all that.
that's a very, very wise words.
Exactly.
So yeah.
All right, boys. Let's end on that bombshell, or how they say always on Top Gear, like the produce. Like
You always say
never mind.
bombshell. Well, I don't think it's the definition of bombshell.
Yeah, never mind. Let's cut
You
that
need to
out.
find your own.
Yeah.
No, let's end on that no.
Pothole? No. See, normally I do the
Let's
intros
end on
and
that
the-
inspiring note.
All right, let's end on that inspiring note.
André is staying here at our house, so I'm gonna make him some stolvlees met frietjes
Ah,
on the
lovely.
healthy way.
Lovely.
You know me. So.
I'll also have some frietjes, but just from the frituur.
Yeah, you can go the unhealthy way, like
Yeah,
like
exactly.
normal. So
All right, guys. Speak to you guys Saturday evening with a race review. Hopefully, it's any good.
Yeah. And you're gonna show up because it's gonna be late. It's probably gonna be like 11 midnight before we come back, and we're gonna do it then.
I can't do it Saturday evening.
For fuck's sake!
I fly to Berlin.
What time?
6. So
Okay.
maybe we can do it via video then.
Well, then we do it the week
You
after.
fly at the race ends
6:30.
at 7.
Oh yeah. Then we fly at 8 or something. I
What,
thought the
in a-
race was done at 5.
No, we started
Well,
12.
mathematically,
So
was
yeah, well, you can.
Well,
When
it
it
all
starts-
depends. No.
I think
okay.
it starts even at 1.
I haven't checked the time. Yet.
At 1.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we waited till
So
7.
I
You
fly
looked
at
at
8
your
then or
yeah,
something.
or at your orga plan already.
8. Yeah, I've been preparing quite well.
You fly with us?
Yeah.
The plane we got. Ah, okay. That leaves at 9:30 from Liège.
See.
Fucking god.
There is a little bit of a difference there.
So you got super organized, semi-organized, and
Yeah, it's crazy how different it is between the two of us. But
Okay.
then we have to do it after, because after I fly to Monaco, but you will not be there Sunday,
no, no, I won't be there.
and then Sporicata. So
Okay. Well,
we'll
okay.
see. We'll figure it out. Maybe our race is done after an hour, and then we'll
Then we
get
have
it.
enough time.
Hopefully not.
Okie doke.
Thank you for listening, watching.
Thank you.
And see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being there.